Okay, what's up, guys? So this is TK and
I'm
Jay
tired.
and Tyler. We're all back again for the post-regular season, power rankings headed into the playoffs. It should be fucking sweet. Anything
Dude.
else you guys want to introduce?
Not really. That pretty much covered everything.
I'm looking forward
So,
to the anime storyline.
yeah, same. I'm hoping for the anime storyline too.
Yeah, it should be crazy. I mean, I'm excited that the playoffs should actually be a lot better this year than they were last year.
Yeah,
Just
because
'cause-
last year everyone made it. Everyone but like one person made it to the playoffs because of like the amount of people we had.
Yeah,
It
I
was
mean, it just
Ricky.
had people drop out, and
Oh, poor Ricky.
the entire like rankings were all bad because everyone forfeited every match last year. So, like
Yeah, it was
this
just
year
a bad
this year
show.
we had what, like 3 or 4 forfeits, 5
I
forfeits.
think it was like
maybe?
3.
And like everyone actually earned their spots in the playoffs, and everyone who's in the playoffs, debatably, actually wants to be there and play.
Debatably. Yes, indeed, debatably. All right, let's start it off. Let's go right down to number 6. TK, who do you have at 6?
Number 6, I have Mitch. I mean, he's there for the actual seeding for the playoffs, but I feel like he definitely deserves that 6th spot.
Tyler?
I also have Mitch. Really good battler, but he just doesn't. He like almost tried not to be in the playoffs, and he physically could not be in not get into playoffs.
Yeah, he
So
just
this is
doesn't
just more of a chore to him at the moment. So I placed him in 6 for that.
Jay, you saying?
I actually have John down there.
John down there?
It was Tyler and I have been talking about this for a while. It's a really close race between the two of them for that bottom spot. I think John has a much worse team overall. His draft team is worse. I think he's a lot worse as a player. Although he obviously has the interest, ability, and enthusiasm to make the playoffs as he did, do so well in the regular season as he did, and I'm not knocking him. He made the playoffs, but I think that Mitch is still a better player, and should Mitch decide to try in any given match, he could be still a machine. So
Yeah.
for that reason,
I mean, it is very interesting though. I really want to see Mitch bring it. Obviously, he plays Tyler that first round.
Yep.
So like, you guys played once this season, right? Or did you not play at all?
We didn't play it all this season.
You didn't play
So when
at
I was
all?
prepping for it, I was like, this is a lot more scary than I thought it was going to
So
be.
like that's gonna be a crazy match because, I mean, you, him, me, Jay, we're all pretty good friends, and you guys have battled together in Pokemon for forever. So I feel like if there's any match Mitch is gonna bring it to, it should be this match.
Which is why I'm preparing so hard on the off chance that he does bring it.
And like, I'm excited. Like, if he does bring it, it should be a really, really good match. But I do have him in last because he hasn't brought it like the past half of the league,
agreed.
pretty much.
Mm.
Like ever since we did talk about it in the original like mid-season analysis, it hasn't gotten better.
No,
So
I think if anyone wants to go back, they can see what we said about it then, and it pretty well sums up everything that he's done for the rest of the season. Just a real lack of
Yeah.
effort, and it's kind of disappointing to all of us, but it is what it is.
Making the teams 5 to 10 minutes beforehand, and then just playing.
which,
No mock
I mean,
battles, no nothing.
If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was-
That's his prerogative.
you just kind of hope, especially now since he is in the playoffs, where any match can definitely be his last match. I feel like he should at least try to bring it, and I'd be excited if he does.
all right. We have any last points on 6 here?
I mean, still not an overall bad season for him. 5-5, 8 kill differential. He did finish 500, and what actually makes me excited about the playoffs is that's actually the lowest record going into the playoffs, where we don't have anyone with a losing record in the playoffs this year, which is actually pretty exciting.
Unlike last year, the sweep.
Last year we had what, like a 3-16 in the playoffs?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. That was Jay, who ended up going to finals.
Oh, baby.
So like, it's exciting that the worst team in the league, one, is run by a really good player, and two, they actually didn't have. If you look at numbers in general, they didn't have too bad of a season.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, who you got at 5?
At 5, I have John. Mostly just because I know he likes the cheese sets, so like obviously his draft for Serp. He's been running a lot of Calm Mind or Tail Glow, Rest, Damp Rock, Manaphy, which is pretty cheesy and predictable. I know he's ran the set that I came up with.
Set.
It is a good set.
It is a really good set,
Manaphy set's
but it's
a really good
predictable.
set, but if he brings it every week, then it becomes predictable in season.
Yeah, it's like how he kept bringing the set that I used against Kamisa on Latios. He used it for like 3 or 4 weeks on Latios, the stored power weakness policy one. And I feel like just obviously like the top 3 of us, and I think Jay is just a better player than John. He puts in a lot more effort. So
Yeah.
that's why I have John at 5th.
All right, TK, what about you? Who do you have at 5?
At 5, I do have Jay. One, just because I was sticking with my guns from the mid-season analysis where I said John would come in 4th, and I'm actually excited because he did come in 4th. I was the only one who called it, by the way. But just looking at like how the final part of the season did go, I know, Jay, that you did actually beat John twice. But in that like last half of the season, John did go beat. He beat Mitch. He beat Amari, and he did beat Ricky, who at that point in week 5 was actually playing pretty well. It was right around when Ricky was actually starting to really pick it up. Who I will shout out, give an honorable mention. While he was very far from making the playoffs, Ricky did show up sometimes this season and did play really, really well.
Especially,
That he did.
I think the important part is that he showed up when he definitely did not have to. He could have just pulled forfeits for the rest of the season, and I don't think anyone really would have cared if he had done that because he had no chance to make the playoffs. But he tried, even though he knew that he wasn't going to make playoffs, which to me really speaks to his character.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's why I actually do get excited every time I watch a Ricky match too, just because you don't know what he's going to do. But like John did finish off the season very, very strong. I think in the last half of the season, yeah, he lost once. Headed into the playoffs, he's on a 3-game win streak, which is tied for the highest in the league right now. And I just feel like he's kind of been on a roll, and it makes me feel like he has that momentum headed in the playoffs. So I do have John higher than Jay. Jay, he did play very well. His momentum was caught, sadly to say, when he did play me in week 8. Before that, you were doing very, very well. You were on a 3-game win streak yourself. And then really to finish off the season, you had Matt, who I'm sure we all regard as the second worst player of the league. And
Yep.
then Mitch, who didn't really show up. While that match was actually really, really intense, and I was excited to see Mitch bring it a bit for that. You definitely had it, because
Actually, can we jump on that real quick? Because
yeah,
towards the end of that match, he actually said in chat at one point, GG, because he was so convinced that he
so
had
confident he had it.
and he forgot about Bullet Punch, so I was able to pull that one out of the bag at the end there.
Yeah, and I think at that point too that his mon went down to Flare Blitz recoil anyway, right?
I think it died to the Bullet Punch, but it took like more than half of its health to Flare Blitz recoil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good match, but Weavile definitely just came in and wrecked it, and actually put Weavile in the top 10 kill leaders for the season. It's 6, which is I was like, finally, 1, Jay finally has a mon up here, and 2, Jay finally just absolutely destroyed something with a mon. I got so excited.
Well, I also swept Matt Lando got 6 kills.
I was just
Yeah,
thinking that.
Lando.
So, I'm a little proud of that one too, but
Just about the only kills I got this season.
that's a fact.
Yep.
I put myself at 5th here, or sorry, oh my god, what am I saying? I put John at 5th here. I guess Tyler really covered everything I wanted to say about John. I just think that he has kind of a weak draft, and his sets are kind of predictable. Not even what he's going to bring, but what he can bring with the sets that with the mons that he has. I think it's going to be a close playoff match. I'm not saying by any means that I'm going to crush him, but I think my 2-0 record over him, and I have an 8-kill differential in those 2 matches over him, combined with the fact that, as I talked about in the previous video, he just has really had a cakewalk of a season, where I think if any of us had that kind of schedule, we would have done very well also. All those things combined to, I don't think, personally, this might be a little bit selfish, but I can't put him over me.
Yeah, see, because also he lost
TK.
him twice. Well, he lost you twice. I feel like that's where, with this kind of format, that's where, like that 3rd win, or right after you lose to someone, that's where you have the chance to really take it over. What were you saying, Tyler?
I was just gonna say that, Jay, don't get cocky, because then you have a Ricky match on your hands.
Especially with John, who we regarded as a better player this season too.
That's
Yeah,
true.
definitely. So, you want to move on to 4?
Yeah, we can move on to 4.
So I'll start off with 4. I have Jay. Really good player. I don't think he would be in the top 3, though. He definitely has the potential to be, especially since he's been showing up quite a bit recently. Yeah, but I just don't think I can put him in the top 3, given records against TK and myself. But I can't say against him versus Camisa personally. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I've pretty much gone over my 4 and John. So Jay, do you have anything to say about yourself first?
I think Tyler pretty much covered it. I can't put myself in top 3. I have nowhere near the chops to be up in those top 3, but really I just put myself in 4th because I think I'm just a slight edge better than John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just player-wise, a bit better. I really, like I said, I just had John above 1 because he did muscle it out. He started the season 1 and 2, and he actually came out 7 and 3 for the final season, 20 kill differential, and by far like the best record itself out of the Moon Conference. And I couldn't put myself to also put in like technically the best player in the conference really at 4th.
You mean 5th?
It's 5th. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. bad with numbers, but yeah. But like Jay, you did do very, very well this season. Even like your loss week 8 against me was still only a 2-0, and it really came down to like Skarmory being able to wall you out.
I went into that match expecting to lose, quite frankly. I'm actually pretty happy with how I played that match. I think I showed what I can do in a match.
Yeah, definitely. And it's why I'm terrified if you do win this week. Just because I would have you in the semifinals, and I don't want to repeat of last season.
All right, let's
It all comes down to the speed tie.
Tyler, who you got at 3?
I got myself.
There you go.
After that loss to Ricky, I don't think I can put myself in the top 2. Plus, after getting thoroughly stomped by Camisa right after beating TK, I definitely don't think I can put myself in the top 2 right now. I can definitely prove it to put myself in the top 2 in the next coming weeks, but this is where I have myself. I can't really say anything else.
TK?
Yeah, I actually have Tyler as well. Really for the same reasons. He did lose to Camisa fairly easily, but he did come back and the following week beat me, which was very, very impressive. And at that point, right after that week, he was definitely one of the top 2 players in my opinion. But then that loss to Ricky actually really brought it back down for me, where Ricky really showed up that week, and Tyler went into the match really cocky. And I feel like as a top 2 player, you really have to take every single match as seriously as possible, knowing that no matter what happens, someone could just show up and you could be an off day for yourself. And that those are like the matches when you lose.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a consensus here because I also have Tyler at third for many of the same reasons. Ricky, he played really well that week. I watched the whole match. It was a great match. It came down to, I think you both had 2 mons out, and he just played better at the end there, especially.
Yeah, that Houndoom set he brought, that Scarf Houndoom, was really
nice.
Really good.
Yeah,
And,
that screwed me.
His Gardevoir was really good that game too.
I don't think we have much else
He
to
just
say
brought the
here.
right stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to number 2. Tyler, who do you have at 2?
I have Kamisa at number 2. It was a really close battle in my head between TK and Kamisa, but I had to just put Kamisa second because TK, I would say, is definitely a little bit more knowledgeable, and I think he definitely has more experience in this draft format, so I feel like he's definitely the better player. That's really my reasoning for it.
TK?
I actually have myself at 2. I have myself at 2 really because one in the head-to-heads, while Kamisa did only beat me 2-0 and I did come out 1-0, which that week I did beat him, I feel like was a better representation of both of our skill levels matching up, and the week where he did beat me wasn't really a good representation of how I normally play, how I normally prep. But that week where he did beat me could have easily have been like a 4-0 in Kamisa's favor. And it's weeks like that. It's also every single week Kamisa seems to show up, where I have had a few off weeks here or there, which really made me put myself down just slightly less than Kamisa. Headed into the playoffs, we're obviously both really getting in a roll. We both are at top 2 places as well for the regular season, both at 8-2. Kill differential is really close. But I just had to put myself slightly less, 1 for like that head-to-head matchup, and 2 just because I haven't been completely consistent during the season, where I feel like Kamisa had.
All right, so I actually, I TK. This is another one that I think between me and John, I think we can agree, and between TK and Kamisa, we have this kind of thing where we're pretty much on even footing, and whoever just shows up better on a given day is going to win that match. And I think that's the same case here, but I do have you in that second place spot. Just your head-to-head specifically, I know you were able to come in at the end of the season and take that first place spot, which, by the way, congratulations, first place for your season. But your head-to-head record, he has that kill differential lead of 1. And it's very minor, but it is there. And I think in the second match, he played really well against you. And for not that, what is it, a 10% freeze chance on Volcarona, I think he would have taken that match.
See, it's actually with that though. The freeze didn't matter, just because he swapped it in and I got the freeze. I actually did outspeed anyway with the Greninja on that, where I would have gotten the kill, and also his Fire Blast does unthaw him if he was going to use it. But he pretty much brought it in to sack it off anyway at that point. But I feel like in that match, Kamisa definitely could have won it if he chose to set up with Volcarona earlier in the match.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely.
But continue, Jay.
Oh,
Please,
that was
please keep hammering me.
that was pretty much it. That was I think he has you have a hyper offensive team, and he has a defensive team. So in a situation where we have a power rankings like this, and we're talking about hypotheticals, I think on a given day he has a better chance to beat you. and I think you guys are evenly matched in game knowledge. Maybe you have a slight edge there. I think he has a lot of experience, knowledge, I guess would say, more than experience really. But with the draft format, he understands how to work it to his advantage, especially in terms of kill differential, more than anybody else in this league, I'd say. And he just has so many defensive mons that he could bring that really wall any of our teams out. So.
Fucking tank growth. Tank growth and Registeel is so good.
Tank growth, Registeel. Yeah, Mandibuzz is what I was gonna add.
It's such a
ridiculous
good defensive core. It's so good for like. He's very lucky that like he has those three, just as like a core defensive core. It's just really hard to break through. Where it's really impossible to beat. And another reason I did have him above me in this is that in the head-to-heads where he beat me, there was really no chance of me winning that. The only chance was with like the Licky setting up, and even then, he might have still been able to beat me because I built my Licky wrong. Whereas in our matchup, where I did come out victorious, there was any given moment, Kamisa definitely could have pulled away with the match. Like I said, if he chose to set up with Volcarona, one against like that Skarmory, or even any moment towards the final end of that match where it was in, rather than picking a move like Giga Drain on my Greninja, didn't kill my Greninja. If instead he used Quiver Dance, he actually would have won that match there. And it was at any moment like that where you really had to see, and he could have pulled away in that match. So that's why I do have him higher than me as well.
And Tyler, I don't think you've talked too much about it, but I'm assuming you also have him. Or sorry, did you say Kamisa you had in second?
Yeah, I had Kamisa in second.
So you want to talk about why you put TK in first?
Yeah, we'll go into first.
I put TK in first because I feel like the cleverness of that last set, like the set that you brought to that second head-to-head was really smart. The scarfed Heracross really ran through his team.
And that's Burn Up Arcanine.
Yeah, the Burn Up Arcanine as well was super clever, and I don't think anyone saw that coming. So it was really just things like that, the creativeness of those sets that made him win that match is the reason why I put him in the first place spot. But
yeah, we haven't really seen.
It's just so close. Yeah, it's for me. It's just so close. It's almost like flip heads or tails, and then that's who's in first and second.
That's really what it's been too. I feel like this match, if it does happen again in the finals, who knows? You could end up beating him, or Mitch could end up beating him if he beats you, or I could lose to Jay, I could lose to John, who knows? But if that match does end up happening, I think it will really be a heads or tail flip of a coin, especially since he's coming off of the loss this time, where the favor might actually be in his hands a little bit. It is a little bit easier to change your team knowing that you lost, knowing what didn't work, rather than knowing you did come away with the win and you're like, okay, what can I change? It beat him. I don't know how to change it that much. So
you learn more from a loss than you do a win.
Yeah, and it'll be really interesting. Which is another reason why I do have him, because part of power rankings I think is really taking in who you're a little bit more scared of, and I feel like, well, obviously I'm not scared of myself, so there's that. But I do have Kamisa above me too, where he had that loss week 9 headed into the playoffs. So he's coming out of vengeance, coming hard in the playoffs, where like you saw it with him against Ricky, with him against who did he play? With Ricky, week 10. He showed up. Ricky played really well. Ricky lost 4-0, but he's coming in on vengeance for that playoff spot, and he already has said it where he plans on winning the playoffs. Obviously, everyone does, but I feel like headed into the playoffs with that loss on his hands, I feel like he's really trying to heat it up as much as he can for that playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm just gonna close it out and say that good luck to the both of you in the playoffs, and good luck to myself to a certain degree, I guess.
Yeah, to you as well.
Yeah, you as well. Good luck. Have fun. Uh, thanks for listening, and we'll talk after the finals. Ready? Want to
Yeah, sounds good.
wrap up?
Yeah, we'll do a post finals roundup.
Sounds good, guys.
Okay.
I'll see you. Talk to you again.
We'll catch you guys later. Peace.